Welcome to the Roots Revival with Food Prude, where we're going back to our roots and learning old-fashioned ways in a modern world. Hi, I'm Laura Lawrence, and I'm glad you're here with me.
Hey friends, just wanted to show you how my morning went here on the homestead in the kitchen, all the stuff that I needed to accomplish. So I thought I'd just kind of walk and talk with you and show you kind of what goes on in the kitchen. So today I needed to go ahead and work on this beautiful cutting board. So I brought out my homemade wood butter so I can go ahead and get this all slathered up. So what I'm doing is just putting on the wood butter, which you can find the recipe on how to make it super easy, and you can do it for all your wood cutting your boards or utensils or anything like that. So I'm just putting a good layer on both sides, and I'm just kind of using my hands to go ahead and just kind of rub it all over. And I'm going to leave that on for several hours, and then I'm going to come back and you'll see me scraping it off in a couple hours. And then when I'm done, you can just rub the whatever's on your hands right into your hands. It's a great lotion, so that's fun. So that's what I needed to get done this morning. That doesn't always happen. That just happens kind of when it needs it, and it needed it. So I thought I'd show you how I do that. All right, I am done, so we're going to move on to the next thing. I'm always buying bulk organic spices from either Frontier Wholesale or Azure Standard. I love Azure Standard. New customers can get 15% off an order of $100 or more using the code NEW15. So if you click on the link in the blog post or the YouTube video, you'll be able to sign up, pick up a drop location near you, and you can get those wonderful ingredients. Some are in bulk, some are not. You can buy in all different sizes. They just give a lot of options for organic, natural, good, clean food, and all kinds of stuff. They have gardening, they have plants, they have all kinds of stuff. So I like to buy bulk spices because then I can afford it in organic, and then it's cheaper because it's bulk. And so lately I have been on a kombucha kick, the booch I like to call it. But I've just recently learned this myself, so I don't have a blog post up or a DIY yet, but I plan to very soon because I'm really enjoying the process of making it. So I am straining this out. This just had apples in it for its second ferment to kind of give it some flavor, and it gets the bubbles. And you can see that I'm having a really good time of getting those little apple slices out of the jar. Always so fun. I gave up. I left a couple in there, whatever. So I'm straining this so the kids can have some of this as juice for breakfast, but it's like a healthy juice, which is awesome. It's really good for your gut health, so I'm just kind of dishing it out for the kids, and the rest I'll save myself. And we are boiling water to make the next batch of kombucha. And I'm using some black tea to go ahead to do the first ferment, is what it's called. So I'm just kind of throwing in a couple teaspoons of black tea, and I plan to do about a gallon of new kombucha for the first ferment. All right, and then I am making my honey butter rolls. These are sourdough. I love these. I melted a couple tablespoons of butter in the cast iron skillet to warm it up. Then I'm just cutting it up into how many ever I want. So sometimes maybe I want bigger ones, maybe to be like for chicken sandwiches or pulled pork or whatever, or you can make them much smaller and they're your dinner rolls. But these are absolutely wonderful for anything that you want to use them for. I just love them. So I'm just kind of doing the pinch and pull method, and I'm putting that smooth side down in the cast iron pan, and I'm going to roll them and get them all nice and coated in butter, and then flip them up so the smooth side is up, and then a few hours, then I'll go ahead and give them a bake in the oven, and we will have that with part of our dinner, which you will see later on what dinner will be. Yeah, look at that. Slather that in that butter, right? Always so good. I make a lot of my own raw organic butter from raw cream that I get from a local farm. I'm also frying up some of our organic pasture-raised pork sausage for the kids for breakfast as well. Yes, that's lots of grease, but if it was made or raised good, then it's not as bad as like your typical grease, say from a fast food French fry or something. It's way different. And for lunch, I am making sourdough pizza. So I made the dough the night before, and then I did this stretch and fold one morning, and I like to break them up into about 8 groups there, and then just kind of give them a roll this way that the gluten starts to relax more, so that I can actually use the rolling pin to roll out the dough itself. If you try to do it right away, it just keeps contracting, and it's annoying. It's like a fight. So you got to kind of do that in the morning, and then by the afternoon comes along, well, not the afternoon, but lunchtime comes along, then I'm able to roll it out real easy. Now here you'll see me that I was mixing or doing my discard and feeding of my starter. We went on a little mini vacay to go watch the eclipse in Ohio, which was just ridiculously fascinating. But anyway, so I came back and I had to wake up my starter that I put away, and then I also had a backup one in there too. So I brought them out, fed them for a couple days, and now I'm just kind of feeding them and going to put some back in the fridge for my backup, and then of course the other one is on my counter. So to go along with the pizza, you need your pizza or your cheese for your pizza, right? So this is my farmhouse cheddar. I don't have a recipe online, but you can learn how to make exactly how I make it, along with many, many other cheeses. I have an online cheese course. It's a great deal, and you can go check that out with the link below too. And you can learn how to make all different kinds of cheeses. So I'm just kind of shredding up this delicious farmhouse cheddar that I put in a vacuum sealer bag that goes in the fridge for a month. I don't use any wax or anything like that, nothing fancy. I'm a get her done type of girl. So that's what we're doing. We're getting stuff done. So shredding all that cheese up so we can have that delicious cheese for our pizza. And yes, you may have caught me that I did say cheddar, but I use cheddar for everything. So we're doing the rolling out the pizza dough now. So I kind of had to come back and flatten them out a little bit with my hands, just again to kind of get that gluten to relax. And then I'm using the rolling pin now. And so my counter is a nice counter that I can roll right onto. And if the top part was exposed to oxygen and the bottom part was not, so it doesn't stick to your rolling pin that way. Kind of just works out really good. So here's my homemade pizza sauce, which you can find the link how to do that. This is just a wonderful, easy, no-cook pizza sauce recipe that you can whip together with just a few ingredients. Then we'll go ahead and put all that delicious shredded cheese on there. We're going to get that baked for lunchtime. You'll see it when it comes out of the oven. My grown-up one, right? This is the grown-up one with the peppers on there. Kids don't like the peppers. They just like plain. So there it is. We're going to give it a cut. Would you like to join me for lunch? Pizza is one of my favorite things to eat all the time. And I ain't afraid to share it. I ain't afraid to say it either. I love pizza. Yes, those are Christmas plates. That's all we have is Christmas plates. But love Christmas season, right? Jesus is the season for the reason. So here I am. That little jellyfish type thing is my SCOBY for my kombucha. Taking them out of my first ferment and giving a little bit of that first ferment to each of those jars. And then I'm using the tea that I brewed earlier, and I'm straining that. And then that will be added with sugar to the new SCOBYs. Well, not new SCOBYs, but new jars. And that they'll sit there for about a week, and then it'll bring it up for my second ferment. So now we're going to throw in some sugar, I believe. Yep, there it is. So do a little bit of sugar in there. Going to whisk it to make sure it's all nice and combined. And then we're going to let it cool down because I do not want to harm or burn my SCOBYs. They're little sensitive little jellyfish thingies. So, and then I'm also making for a snack some quinoa cakes. These are delicious. There's this garlic aioli sauce that just really is, I just love it. So this is the husband and one of the kids. The other kids just eat them plain. So there I am, cooled down, filling up my 2 half-gallon jars with lots of new kombucha that'll go through its first ferment. That takes a week. And then it'll go through its second ferment with some kind of fruit. That only takes 1 to 2 days. You put it in the fridge for a day, and then you got some great kombucha. So I also like to make sure I mark things with the professional masking tape marker because, oh gosh, you'll forget whenever all that stuff is just sitting around. I put it in a dark closet, so I got to remember to go back and get it. And I can't remember what day it was. It takes a week. You know how much stuff I can do in a week? I don't know. So here I am cleaning off the board. I'm just using a little Pampered Chef scraper. You could use whatever. And if the wax is still clean, It's beeswax and coconut. But if it's still clean, you can go ahead and, put it back in the jar and reuse it. If not, you just throw it out. There's not that much that you end up using. So I'm just kind of scraping it off, and then I'm going to grab some paper towel and just kind of, just make sure I got it all off, right? And then the board is nice and shiny. It's clean. It's protected for the bacteria, and it just looks all good again. The next thing we're doing, this is dinner, so I threw a couple smaller of our organic pasture raised chickens that we raised last year. They were in the freezer. I put them in the crock pot. Some of them just stay small, so I was able to put 2 in there. This is a 10-gallon crock pot that I absolutely love, and usually just holds 1 chicken, but these were smaller, so I did 2. So I brought them out to cool down so I could pick them apart, and that will be dinner. Will be chicken with the homemade barbecue sauce. And then I'm just taking 3 jars of my canned goods from last year. We've got my purple potted pole beans that turn green when you put them in water. Try not to hate them for that because they were beautifully purple. And then some corn that we grew here and some carrots as well. So it's just like a little veggie medley that I put together. And then here I am bottling up the kombucha, the ones that I already strained. This is a one that's already been onto its first ferment. Now it's going on to the second ferment, and I'm doing these with strawberries. So I'm just squishing in some strawberries that I picked from the garden last year that were frozen. I let them thaw, and I'm giving each jar a little bit of strawberries to kind of give that second ferment a flavor of whatever. And we've done apple pie, we've done mango, which was okay. We've done blackberries, which was pretty tart, but our blackberries were tart, so I guess we'll just blame it on the tartness of that. But you can try anything, which is really kind of fun. So strawberries happens to be our favorite so far. And it gives a really good bubbly action too. They really like to ferment better. The strawberries do. It's pretty cool. So I'm just kind of divvying up a little bit in each of the jars. Going to put the lid on. Then those are going to go back in the dark closet for 2 days. And then I'm going to put them in the fridge for the day to help settle the carbonation. And then we will drink it up. So thank you for watching today.